Hello and welcome. This is Edexcel iGCSE ICT. This is the 2023 Practical Paper 2. My name is Mark Harrison and welcome to this video. Please like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. In this video I'm going to go through the whole of this 3-hour paper and answer all the questions. The total marks are out of 100. So we'll jump in and start to have a look at some of the instructions here. So you've got different sections and their marks. We can see that we've got sections. In the data files folder, you'll find something new. This is an evidence document. You fill in your centre name, centre number, candidate number. This is new to 2023 and all your responses. Everything is kept in one document. So when you're asked to provide evidence throughout this video, this is where you'll provide the evidence in this document. So when I say take a screenshot, this is where you'll place your screenshots. It's really important that you complete this document because it's evidence that's going to go to the exam board that you've completed the activities. Section A. Task A1. Lucian needs a logo to be used in some of the company documents. Task A1A. Lucian wants you to create a logo based on this design. Now this is quite a complex logo and it's worth a total of 8 marks. The marks break down as follows. There's marks for having a curved window like that, so the square, the rectangle has got curved corners. There's marks for having the circle within the circle. There's marks for having a pointy bit at the front of the boat. There's marks for having the rear of the boat looking like this. There's marks for the flag here and marks for the correct font. You can use graphics software for this, probably advisable, but I'm going to use PowerPoint. So this is what we're going to create. So I'm going to create this that I've created earlier in PowerPoint using the shapes. So insert shapes, and I'm going to start by collecting the right shape for the bottom of the boat. And what I'm going to use, so I'm going to use this manual operation. I'm going to use that for the bottom of my boat because that's approximately what I want. So it's in the flow charts there and manual operation. If you're interested in the version of PowerPoint that I'm using, Office that I'm using, it's 2021. But pretty sure they've got this on older versions as well. So can change this. I'm going to right click and edit points. I'm going to attempt the most complex part of this, which is creating that shape. So making that shape there. So I'm going to pull this out like that. I'm going to pull this in here and pull this out a bit more. Now this is a bit too much, so it's just a case of kind of playing about with it till you get the shape that you want there and you're happy with that. I'm going to pull that up a bit there like that. I need to keep the bottom of the boat as a straight line. That's approximate there. Okay, it's just a little bit exaggerated, so I might just push that out a bit. Now I've got that extra bit there, so I could kind of edit points and just kind of play with it a bit until I get it exactly right. But just be careful, you can see what's happening there. So that's happening. If you make a mistake, undo, Control Z to undo. But if you need to, forget, you can zoom in to make life a little bit easier if you zoom in and just play about with it like that. Now I'm going to cheat a bit and I'm going to go to format, shape format here, and I'm going to remove the outer lines. So click on shape format there, shape outline, no outline. Then that will make it easier to just get that shape, because I think that's quite difficult to do there. So I'm just going to put in maybe a curved bit there like that. Perhaps bring that up like that and across. And then say no outline for that. And then it's approximately as it should be. Okay, so removing that outline there has made life a little bit easier for me. Okay, so we'll do some of the easier parts now. We'll get the top of the boat done. Again, manual operation. Now, obviously that's the wrong way up. I'm going to rotate that around like that. Now, let's move that down onto the boat. And what I'm going to do is I want to get this angle a bit more like this. So I'm going to edit shape, edit points, and just carefully as I can, keeping that line straight, just push that out like that there. And the same with the front. I don't want that to raise, I don't want that to have, so it's approximate, but if I'm not happy with that, again, undo, and just go back to doing that again. Okay, that's good enough. So now, can add the windows, and they're these rounded corners here. So that needs to be shape outline, green, and shape fill with white. I'm going to draw the line across, and that's a kind of dark blue line that goes across there. That looks okay like that. I'm not going to make that line bigger. Control C, Control V, copy and paste, or Command C, Command V if you're on a Mac. Now let's deal with that window. So that's a little bit complicated. So if I need to get a perfect circle, I hold down the Shift key. I don't want it too big. The shape fill like that. Now I need to do the inner circle. So insert shapes again. Okay. Now that needs to be like that. It needs to be green. It needs to go in there. It doesn't matter if it doesn't line up perfectly. As long as it's inside there, you'll get the marks. Now let's deal with a little chimney, then we'll do the flag. So again, more shapes for that. And that chimney is black. So that's good. And now the flag. So that's kind of flagpole there, black. And now the triangle bit to represent the flag again. Needs to rotate that around so that it's horizontal there. And that is going to be like a peach color like that. Now I need to do these lines here. So insert the shapes there. Now I'm going to have no outline on that. So I'm going to copy and paste that, rotate that around so that it matches the angle of the back of the boat. And that needs to be brought down there. Now the line across the hull of the boat. Don't worry too much about thickness. And now the text. So could use word art. I'm just going to do a text box. So I don't want fancy fonts here. Now I'm going to write the text outside of the shape. So P space C space H. And that does need to be the same color as the lines. So I'm just going to change that color to that peach color there. And then Prestige Canal Holidays is the other text I need on there. So again, insert text box. I'm writing it out of the boat because I want to be able to specify where I want that text to be. Prestige Canal Holidays. And that's going to be the peach color. I could make that bold if I wanted to, but I'm happy with that. And that's my logo finished. Now, all I need to do now is highlight it, right click, group it together, right click again, save as picture. So I need to save it as PCH logo. And then that's ready to go. So back to that, we've saved it in the right folder, and we'll answer this question to finish A1 for a total of 9 marks. So Lucian has a single layer image. She wants to remove an unwanted part of the image using graphic software. She could use the eraser tool to do this. Give one other way to remove the unwanted part. Now obviously if this had multiple layers, you could delete the layer, but she could use the heal tool for this, the healing tool for this, or use the crop tool for this. And that completes task A1 for 9 marks. Task A2. This is the database task. Lucian has collected information about the holidays booked with the company. She saved the information in the database holidays. The database has 3 tables, and we can see the structure of the tables here. So we've got canal, guest, and booking. If we go and have a look at our database, we can see them here. So we go to Database Tools, Relationships. I can see the tables here. This is my database. So I can see table canal. I can see canal ID. This is something called a primary key. I can see it has a link to booking, and I can see the foreign key here. Booking has a composite key because it has its primary key there, but it also has guest ID and canal ID, two foreign keys from also table guest as well. I can also see other fields in here as well, and this gives me some information about those fields. So I can see their text, number. It's fairly straightforward, there's nothing unusual about this. You can see auto number there for booking ID. So that's an automatically generated number. One thing to note about this is it has a one-to-many relationship. So canal has a one-to-many relationship with booking. So canal can have many bookings, but a booking belongs to the canal. Specific booking belongs to one canal. So canal has many bookings there. We can see the many, so the infinity sign there, infinite. So one to infinite relationship. It's one-to-many relationship. Infinite is the largest number I can have. So that's why that's used to represent this in Access, a one-to-many relationship. This is a relational database because it has more than one table. So we can see the relationships between the tables here. So close that, come out of that, and go and have a look at the questions now. But take the time to have a look at the database and make sure you understand how it works. Some databases that you might get might not be linked together. The tables might not have any links, so that might be your job to do that, but in this table we've already got that. So Lucian wants to use a form to add extra guests to the guest table. Open the holidays database, open the guest table, create a form for the guest table with these specific requirements here for 6 marks. So we'll go and have a look at the guest table here, but I'm not going to keep it open, we can just see that there. So we can also see the relationships there. We can see each guest's booking, and I think most of them have just one booking, but we can have multiple bookings for each guest. But I'm going to close that. I don't actually need that open. I'm going to go to Create, and I'm asked to create a form. So I'm going to use the form wizard. Now, there's nothing wrong with using the wizard. There's nothing to say you can't use the wizard, and it actually makes life a bit easier. So anything we can do in an exam, and this is just a 3-hour exam, sounds like a lot but really isn't. So anything you can do to help speed things up, make things easier for yourself, take it. So it must be for the guest table. So I must have selected table guest, and if it isn't selected I can select that here. Click on the double arrows there, push everything from left to right, next. Now I'm given a requirement here, tabular format, so select tabular, next. It should be saved as guest underscore form. So I'm going to do that here, do that now, but I'm going to modify the form's design, finish one of those. I'm going to replace it, yes, so I'm going to work on this, okay. So we've already covered that point there, so that's a mark for us. Include a header with the height set to 2 centimeters, so we'll go and do that now. So I'll just close that. What I need to have is a property sheet open, so if that isn't open I click that there. I need to click on that. I need to go to the properties for this, and the height is quite specific. It needs to be 2, so I'm going to change that to the number 2. There, and just click off of that. That's now 2 centimeters. I'll need to take a screenshot of that. As I go through, I won't be screenshotting it just to save time. But where you will need to take a screenshot, I'll just tell you need to do that. So print screen that specifically. Okay, so back to the requirements, a dark background for the header. So again, properties here, and I need to choose, or I can right click there, fill back color, and choose a dark blue like that. Okay, so back color there. I think I want to specifically choose that. So the easiest thing to do is right click on that, fill back color, and I'm going to choose a dark color. Blue is usually quite a good one if you're not sure, like a dark blue if it says a dark background. Field names in a font, in a white font, so go and do that now. So I need to select all of these at the top here, and I need to make them in a white color. The easiest thing to do is go to home and choose white there. Now as I go, I can keep looking at this in form view. It's looking okay. Back to design view. So I've done that. As you go through, tick them off with a pencil. Done that. The heading new guest data entry form on one line. So that needs to be done here. Now I need to check it exactly. So type that in. Now it does say to put that on one line. So I need to click on that and drag that across. That puts that on one line there. Okay, display the font color of the heading as white. That is already white, that's defaulted to that. Not display the borders of any field names. Let's go and do that now. So I'm going to highlight these. And again, the property sheet there. So border width there. Border style, transparent. So let's have a look at that. What does that look like there? Yep, that's now transparent, so there's no borders. Design view, back to the question, not display the borders on any field name. Done that. Be customized to ensure the heading, field names and data are not truncated. So I need to see if I can got any truncation there. What that means is the data is cut down. If that had happened, so say this was truncated, I can always just push this out a bit and just increase the spacing there to avoid any truncation. Truncation is where some of the data is cut off, but I can't see that here. I think that looks okay. So I think that's done, and all I would do now is take a screenshot and put that in the evidence. So here's where I do my screenshot. We'll go on to A2B. Lucian wants a list of canal holidays that have been booked for September 2023. Fewer than 40 locks been booked for 3 nights. Create a query on the canal and booking tables to produce the list. I'm in my database and I've closed the form now because I've screenshotted that, and I need to go to database tools, and go to, I'm not going to use the query wizard, I'm just going to use query design. You could use the wizard, but I don't think I really need to here. So I just want canal and booking tables. So as I'm not sure what fields I'm going to be using, I'm just going to put the whole lot on there. Double click on each one and I'm going to construct my query. So been booked for September 2023. So that's a holiday date there that needs to be changed. So that's my criteria. So holiday date. Now I can use a wildcard here. So the date is in date format. So I can say 09, which is September 2023. So like, and Access has done that for me, that like. So this is using wildcard, something, so whatever date in September 2023. Now, my advice is always to run the query as you go. So make each point work. So I get that to work and then run it rather than doing all of it and running it all at once. So run that now. This should just be September 2023. Because the date is in the correct format, I can use a wildcard. There's also other things I could have done there. I could have done greater than or equal to 01/09/2023 and less than or equal to 30/09/2023, but this one worked. Okay, so I need to do the rest of my query. Fewer than 40 locks. So I'm going back to design view and I need to specify fewer than 40 locks. So here's the number of locks. I need to say less than 40. So run that there. And that gives me, and I just double check that, fewer than 40 locks. I've got a lot of fields in here, but I can look across and I should say number of locks there. It's here, less than 40. Yep, that's done. Been booked for 3 nights is the next one. So holiday length nights is the next thing I need to do in design view. So go back to holiday length, nights, and it needs to be 3. Run. So these are the holidays that have been booked for 3 nights. So now I need to save the query as September underscore query. So that's been done through File and Save As, and I've saved my query there. So at this point, take a screenshot of the query design. So go and take a screenshot of that, and could remove the properties table. We could do a screenshot of the query there. Make sure you get in the 3 bits of criteria there that we need. So the list must show only these fields in this order. Canal ID. So I'm going to need to take some of these out now. So I need to have canal ID first. I don't need this or this, so I can uncheck those boxes. Journey name. So that needs to have journey name next to canal ID, so I can click and drag that across. Holiday date. So let's get holiday date. That's next to that. That's already good. That's fine. Number of locks. So I need number of locks next. So I'll drag that across next to holiday date. Okay. Distance is the next one. So we drag distance across there. And I don't need that, or that. Okay. Be sorted in descending order of holiday date. So that needs to be sorted into descending order. So largest to smallest. Ascending is smallest to largest. Display the ordered and sorted results of the query. Take a screenshot of the results. So we'd run that and we'd print screen that, and that would go into my evidence. Resave evidence, and that's 5 marks there. A2C, Lucian wants a list of guests who had already booked a certain holiday. Must include the guests who booked a holiday with a canal ID of 1, show in these fields in this order: guest ID, title, last name, date of birth, holiday date. Sort the results so that they show the earliest holiday booking first. Create a query on the booking tables to find guests to find the information. So now back to create, and I'm going to go to query design again, and it specifically said booking and guest tables. So I'm just, if I'm not sure what I need to do, I just put the whole lot on there and we'll go from there. So this order, guest ID. So I need guest ID, and then it said title. Title should come next, so I don't think I need that. Canal ID. Last name, date of birth. It's now last name next to title. So click and drag, click on that and drag that across. Now I need date of birth, so I need to go across and get that. Click that, that's got to go next to last name. Last name, date of birth, and holiday date. So now I need holiday date. So I don't need to see these fields in here, so I can uncheck those boxes there. Okay. Sort the results so they show the earliest holiday booking first. So holiday date, so booking, sort into ascending. So earliest would mean ascending order. Create the query on the booking guest table. Done that. Save the query as canal1 underscore query. So done that by going to File and Save As, and it's object, not database. So that's that done, and now I'm going to make a report of that. So I've got all these things here. So we go to the database, we can come out of that. We've got the query now. So in our queries here, we can see canal1 underscore query, and that's what I'm going to create a report on. So go to Create here and Report Wizard. Now at this point, I must select canal underscore 1 query, and I'm going to put all those fields on there. Columnar format. So let's go through this. Next. I'm not going to do anything there. I'm just going to press next there. Next. So there's some criteria here, but it's already sorted, so I shouldn't really need to do anything there. So click next. Now here I do need to do something. It needs to be in columnar format. So next. Now I need to save it and needs to be saved as Canal Report with no underscore. So delete that, and I want to modify the design. Finish. I'm going to work on this now. So I've done that first bullet. I need to do the second bullet now. Show all data left aligned. So I need to highlight that and then go to Home, Align Left. So make sure it is left aligned. So usually that should be. It could be that they need it to be center aligned when you select the center button. Instead, have a suitable title in the serif font. So suitable title for this. So report on canal bookings and dates. Doesn't really matter as long as it's suitable, but what does matter is choosing a serif font. And the best one to choose for a serif font is to go down to T and select Times New Romans. So this is a serif font. What that means, you've got these little serifs on each of the letters. So you can see canal there, you've got the tiny serif there at the top. So it's really important that you do that. So that's that done. Include the logo you created in task A1A in the top right of the report. So that's got to go here. So you can just simply insert that to go to report design and insert logo. So browse to the logo that we've created. So here's the logo that I made earlier. So I browsed to the file and I inserted the logo there. Show only the required fields. That does, because that already came from the query. Show the record sorted to show the earliest holiday booking first. Well, let's have a look at that in report view. So it should show the earliest booking first. So 16/04/2023. I think that's correct. I think that is the earliest one first because we already had that in the query. This is just a report of the query, so that does show the earliest booking first. Show the records sorted, show the earliest booking first, include the company name, Prestige Canal Holidays in the footer. So go and do that now. So go back to Design View, and in the footer here, I can add that. So this is the footer down at the bottom. So I'm going to go to Report Design and click on Label, not a text box. I'm just going to put a label on there. And that needs to say Prestige Canal Holidays, and that should be in the bottom there. Okay, let's go and have a look at that in report view. So right down at the bottom, see that, and this is truncation here, so I might need to sort that out. So go back to design view, and I can just sort that out, that truncation there. So don't really want to see that in there. So go back to report view, and then we can see what it looks like. Well, if it keeps doing it like that, then there's no requirement to have the date on there. I'm just going to delete it and get rid of that. Okay, saved it as Canal Report, screenshot the report in print view. So go to File and Print Preview, and we screenshot that and resave the evidence, and that completes that task. So these we answer in the evidence. Identify one field in the holiday database that could have used a lookup list. So if we look at our database, where could we have seen a lookup? Perhaps in title. So I could have specified a lookup list there. Perhaps it could have been number of nights on the booking table. 2. Explain why a lookup list is used in the database. Well, it reduces any problems that we could have with data entry. So when someone's putting the data into the database, it reduces any problems of them putting in the wrong data, which can mess up our database. So it can reduce errors in data entry. 3. State the validation check that will be most appropriate for the postcode field in the guest table. It will be a format check that it needs to be in the correct format, e.g. letter, number, and then another number, and then 2 letters, for example. 4. Explain why a primary key is used in a database to uniquely identify records and also to provide a link to other tables as needed in a relational database, but the main reason is to provide a unique identity because there could be someone with the same name as someone else, and that completes A2 for 25 marks. Task A3. This is a presentation task. Lucian wants you to create a presentation for future guests. And here's some requirements. So go and open the presentation, look what we need to do. There's no actual template that goes with this in PowerPoint. This is all I've got. So I'm going to create a new presentation now in PowerPoint. So I'm ready to start now, and we'll look at the requirements. So 2 slides, fit for purpose, use a light blue background with dark blue text. So let's set that up now, and what I need to do is look at the slide master. So this is 2021, but it's still fairly similar to older versions. So I'm going to go to format background now. Now I need to have, it does specifically say light blue background with dark blue text. So rather than just change that here, I'm going to go to view and go to the slide master and have a look at that there. Okay, so now I can change my background. So light blue background, dark blue text. So I'm going to right click on that and format background. Now here I'm going to choose light blue. So that's a light blue, that's good. Okay. Then it says dark blue text. So I'm going to highlight all of this, or Control A, and I'm going to make that a dark blue color like that. Okay, and that should apply to all of them now on this slide master. Is there anything else I need to do? Use text from the presentation. Well, I can't do that in the slide master, so I'm going to come out of that. So slide master, close slide master, and now my slides are all dark blue. When I insert a new slide, it's light blue with dark blue fonts. Okay, so go back to the Word document. This is the text that needs to go onto that presentation. So slide 1 must also include the logo on task A1. So go here, let's set the layout to be this, so title at the top and text here, and we'll insert the logo now. So click on insert and then choose pictures and then browse to my logo. So here's my logo. I'm going to shrink it down a bit and just place it in the top right there. So a 3-second timed and automatic transition to the next slide. So now I need to go to transitions here, and it needs to be 3 seconds here. So it needs to be not on mouse click, it needs to be after here. They go up and down and choose. I'm going to choose 3. So that should. So now I'm going to copy and paste this text into my presentation here and just tidy that up a bit. Delete that there. Now you notice my logo has gone, and that's also changed that to black color, so I just need to tidy that up a bit. My logo went because it had actually placed it here. I need to reinsert it now. So now that's done. Okay, so logo, a 3-second transition done, a link to the website. Okay, now I just need to check that this is a link, so right click on that, hyperlink, and it needs to go to text to display there, but it needs to go to an actual website. Now the website isn't pch.service. Let's just double check what that website is. We get that information from the top here. It is pch.service, so that is the website address. It looks a bit odd, but that is the website address. Now, if I clicked on that, that probably wouldn't work, but that is a hyperlink there. Okay, and I can tell it's a hyperlink by right-clicking on it, hyperlink, and it does go to a specific place. Okay, because it's not got .com or .co.uk, it doesn't quite recognize that as a website, but that is okay. That's the information I've been given. That's what I'm going to work with. Okay, right, so back to the activity that I need to do. Okay, all the way down here. So 2 appropriate images from the images folder that have these specific requirements there. So now I need to put them on this here. So perhaps what I'll do is maybe just squash that down a bit, and I'll put the images here in the middle. So again, insert pictures, and I need to browse to that folder. Now browse to my images folder, and I've got lots of images here. Now it does say suitable images, so I'm going to choose maybe this, because we can see canal boats. This is a canal boat here. I'm not too worried about the size of that now. I'm going to change that later, but if we see here we're given a cruise ship, that might not be so appropriate to choose that. So just choose specific pictures. I'm not sure that's suitable. That looks like somewhere else, so it's not quite what I'm after, but I'm going to choose this narrowboat here. So these are my two pictures here, and what I need to do now is change the size of it. And the size is 250 vertically aligned, so they need to be on top of each other. So I'm going to need to think about where I place this. I'm going to move this out the way there to corner, because it needs to be vertically aligned. That means one on top of the other, and the specific requirements there for the properties of the image. I'm going to picture formats and just looking at the properties here of the image. 250 pix is 6.61 centimeters, so I need to uncheck that lock aspect ratio, because I need it not to be locked into a specific aspect ratio. I need it to be more of a square, so 6.61 like that. So uncheck those two boxes, but 6.61 for both of them there. Now they don't look great, but that's what's required. So link to the website, done that. Pictures, slide number, center aligned. So what I need to do is go to the slide numbering. I need to look at the headers and footers to be able to do it. So I need to go to view there and look at that in outline view, but I need to be able to see the header and footer. So go to view and slide master, and here I can see the footer, and it specifically says slide number center aligned. So I need to insert the slide number here in the footer. Insert and slide number. So now I've inserted the slide number. That should be a hash symbol there like that. So I can come out of that now, and that's now done. It's not looking great though, so not quite finished. What I need to do, I think, is introduce some text on here. So I'm going to take this and put this onto here. So I'm going to insert a text box and add that text, so Control V there. Now just squash that down. I need to make that a dark blue font. So just tidying this up a bit, but don't worry too much about presentation there. It's more what you've got on it that's important. So I might put the title there, About Us, or perhaps Prestige Canal Holidays would be a good title there. Okay, so back to requirements. Slide 2 must include UK holiday options for 2023. So that comes from here. So I'm going to use that as the title for slide 2. This one's more straightforward. Now if that happens, when we paste it, so when I right click and paste it, choose the right text. So right click there and now paste, and I chose, it doesn't want to let me show it now, but text only. For some reason when I press record it wouldn't let me do that. So I'm going to copy and paste this onto this slide as well. Again, I'm going to pause the video, and I chose the paste options, keep text only. So tidy that up. Might want to make these countries bold so they stand out a bit more. So England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. So that stands out a bit. So perhaps they don't need to be bullet pointed like that. So the countries stand out, so we can see that the places in the countries are bullet pointed there. Just to tidy that up a bit. So the names of the rivers and canals in England from the file presentation yet done. The names, same animation effect applied to the names of rivers and canals. So 3-second automatic slide transitions. A link to slide 1, a slide number center aligned. So let's do the link to slide 1 now. We'll just use the text box for that. Keep it really, really simple and just write link to slide 1, like that. Make sure that is blue, and then right click, hyperlink. Now, place in this document slide 1, OK. Got it, OK. Let's test that out. Now when I click on that, it should take me to slide 1. It does. OK, so that bit's done. OK, let's check slide number center aligned. So we have done that. Go to View, Master, and if evidence is needed of that, I can screenshot that there. Just come out of that. That's the slide master there. OK, save the presentation as welcome. That needs to be in caps, so I've done that. OK, and enter the company name, Prestige Canals Holidays, in the Notes and Handouts footer. So I can click here, just drag this up, and I can do that there. Now, I'm going to do a bit of a cheat, which you can't do in the exam. You're going to have to type that, but just to save myself some time, I'm going to copy and paste that, and that is in the footer. So this is the Notes and Handouts footer there. So resave the presentation and answer this final question here for A3C. One benefit of using placeholders when creating a presentation. So it adds consistency of slides as the placeholders are all pre-formatted. It's a good answer to that. And that completes task A3 and section A for a total of 50 marks. Task B1, we're in the second half of the paper now, section B. Prestige Canal Holidays offers holidays on canals and rivers in France. Holidays in the UK will be available in 2023. The spreadsheet Holiday Payments contains information on payments made for holidays. It has two worksheets called Payments and Price Bands. Some functions require you to use more than one worksheet. Open the spreadsheet Holiday Payments. Open the worksheet Payments. So here we can see payments, and we can also see here price bands. So we're going to use some kind of VLOOKUP for that in a moment. Insert a new row at the top of the spreadsheet and enter the heading Holiday Payments for 2023 in cell A1. Easiest way here, right click, insert, and that's got to go up here. So Holiday Payments for 2023 in cell A1. So put that in there, 2023, there, like that. And that had to have the capital P. So I will change that because I want that to be exactly as that should be. Okay, so the next thing, merge and center cells A1 to N1. Merge and center H2 to L2. So we'll do A1 to N1 first. So click on that, highlight up to N1, merge and center. Then it said merge and center H2 to L2. So it is H2 to L2, merge and center, there. Okay, that's one mark. So set the formatting of the merge cells to cell shading light color. So we need to go back to all the merged cells, so that's that one. So light color, if you're not sure, choose a light blue, maybe not too crazy color scheme. So just choose light blue for both of those. Font enhancement, bold and underline. So that's easy enough to do. Bold, underline, there. So that's another 2 marks there. So B1B, Lucian wants you to use spreadsheet tools to analyze the data in the spreadsheet. Guests pay monthly amounts for January to May. Guests with outstanding balance after the payment in May will be contacted by the phone to notify them of the final balance. Use one spreadsheet function to display the holiday price for guest ID 101. So we'll go and do that now. So the holiday price here, 101. So what does that exactly mean? Well, it wants me to look at this. Here's the price IDs there. So Mr. J Singh there is on band B. So he should pay 1200. So to get that information, I need to use a VLOOKUP. So equals VLOOKUP and open brackets. You can see here Excel is helping you. What do you want to look up? Okay, I want to look up that. Okay, now from where? So I need my table array here. So highlight my table. Great. From that table, which column? Index 2. And here, false. I want an exact match. Close brackets, return. So it says 1200. Is that correct? Yep, 1200. Now, we've got that working and we've secured the four marks for that. But what I recommend here is future-proofing this by just adding absolute cell references here. So putting the dollar symbols in so that I can copy this formula down successfully and the formula stays the same. Even though F4 changes to F5, it locks into the price bands table there, so I always get the correct price band. It's just something I recommend just to speed things up for you. If you've done that, you might as well just copy that formula down and use here absolute cell referencing $A, $2, $B, $6 to speed things up. Without that absolute cell referencing, you're going to have to change the formula each time. You won't be able to copy it down using the fill handle there. Okay, so that's done. That's 4 marks. Enter a formula to calculate the balance for guest ID 101. So it needs to work out the balance there. Okay, guest ID 101. So that will be all of this, so how much they've paid, taken away from the holiday price. So how much do they owe? So equals sum. So sum of all their payments now. Okay, but what I need to do is equals that minus the sum of all the payments. So it should be 160. So that's cell G4, subtract all these payments, so the sum of all the payments there, to give me the final balance. And what Mr. J Singh owes is 160. So copy that down there to give us the final balance for each one. So yes, that should have been for 101, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to copy the formula down. So I'm just future-proofing that here. Just to, that's in number 4 here. I'm just doing that now, just to speed things up. Use one spreadsheet function in the notes column to display the message phone guest if the guest ID 101 has a balance to pay. If a message is not displayed, the cell must remain blank. Okay, let's go and do that now. So now I'm going to use an if. Equals if. So logical step, test. So what if is doing is it's a selection. In programming you call that a selection, so it's doing a test. So logical test. If the balance here, my logical test, okay, so is greater than 0. So if they owe money, then what we need to do is say phone guest value of false, nothing. So just put the double quotation marks in, but with nothing in there. So let's test that out. We'll copy that down. So for all the people who owe nothing, it should be empty. So all these people need a phone call here because they have an outstanding balance they need to pay. Okay, so that's 2 marks. Replicate the functions and formulas. So I've already done that there. 5, enter a formula to calculate the average monthly payment for January and replicate this for other months. So that's got to come down here. Average monthly payment for January. So equals, I'm going to use the average function, average, okay. Now I need to select January, highlight January, all of that, and close brackets, enter. So that's given me that to 2 decimal places, which is absolutely fine. I don't really need to change that. Okay, it doesn't. So replicate this for other months. So that needs to be replicated for other months as well. So just to tidy this up, I'm going to cut and paste that into January. Now that has kind of change that, so I just change that down. Let's change that to 0 decimal places, and we should be able to copy and paste that across. So L4, sorry, I'd done that on the holiday price there. I'm going to delete that. So equals average, so that should be H there, so it's not quite worked as well as I'd hoped. Okay, so let's reselect those values for our average here. Okay, and just double check that. So it is 191, so I'm going to copy that across. Okay, so that is L, that's I there. I4 to I33, J4 to J33, K, and there's L. So that's worked, okay? I've done that now. That's good. So enter formula to calculate the total balance outstanding. So total balance outstanding here. So that is equal to the sum of, and this is the balance outstanding here. So sum of all this column there. Highlight that. And then I can close brackets there. 1,900. Okay, that's done. Spreadsheet function to display the number of band A's holidays and the cheapest holiday. So I've got the band holidays there. What I can use here is a countif. So equals countif, count them if this column here, our range, what's our criteria? So I need to put our criteria there is, and it needs to be exact. So band in caps. Now my caps lock is on, so I didn't see that. So I need to change that to capitals. Band A has to be exact. So that's six band A holidays. Okay. And the cheapest holiday, so that can be done using a min, equals min. Okay, so what is the cheapest holiday here? So here's the cost of the holiday, so here's my range, holiday price. So what is the minimum there? It's 700, and that looks about right. That's good. Include a named range, holiday price bands for cell A3 to B6 in the price bands worksheet. So now go to the price bands worksheet and A3 to B6. So A3 to B6, and I can specify my named range. Just right click on that there, define name. Okay, and here I can give that a specific name, and that needs to be called price bands. Now, did it have an underscore? Let's just double check that. So it needs to be called holiday underscore price underscore bands. So change that here. So type that in like that. Okay, so I can see that there. I can write that in there. There's where I can see my named range. So I've actually named that range. The idea is just make it easier to access that. Okay, that's my named range. That's what a named range is. Insert a footer that includes your details. So here, to go to view and page layout, and we can go down to the footer and put our candidate details in there. We type it into the footer. Okay, so go back to view and normal to come out of that, and when I print that, that will be part of that there. Okay, task B1C. So format the payments worksheet so that currency values show the euro symbol to 2 decimal places. Let's go and do that. So we need to format this sheet. So we start with here. I'm pretty sure all this and this, they're all currency. So go to home and select here a number, currency. So for me, it's in AED, dirhams, but I need to select that to be euros. That's my default. Wherever you are, it will default to your local currency. So I need to put it into euros. So there's quite a lot of euro options there. I'm just going to choose euros like that. Okay. 2 decimal places. Okay. Now if this happens, I need to double click there, just a little tip, because I've got some truncation there. It's not able to show the full value. So that's in euros there. This also, I should have done that at the time, but I also need to put that into currency as well. And again, I need to specify what type of currency. It's euros as well. So I need to scroll down and find euro there, 2 decimal places. And there's also this as well. So that one there. So currency there and currency there. So I need to put that into euros. But for time, I'm just going to skip that for the moment. So that's all been done there, and I put everything into euros like that. So that's one mark. Row headings use text wrap to use the space efficiently. Let's do that. So row headings here. We need to change that to wrap text. So you can see now price band jumps up like that. So better use of space. Grid lines and row column headings are displayed when the spreadsheet is printed. So we need to do that now. So when I go to File and Print here, then I need to specify that I'm printing the actual, so page setup, sheet, and check this box grid line here. So I can see that. I'll say that again. Page setup there, sheet, and grid lines, so that the grid lines print off there like that. So that's that done. Another mark. When printed, all data is visible and the values will print on normal on 2 pages. So let's see that. So page 1 of 2, that's absolutely fine. We can also just specify fit all rows on 1 page. That would probably be better. But let's go and look at the formula now. So I want to see the formulas. So I click on formulas there and show formulas. There I can see my formulas. Now let's go and print that again and see what happens. So that's page 1 of 2, but I've got some truncation there, so I need to go and sort that out. Okay, because when I print that off, it doesn't quite print everything there as it should be. So double click on there to tidy that up. So we'll go back to printing now, and with no truncation now, that works. So that's checked that box. So that actually completes task B1 for 25 marks. Task B2, save the spreadsheet as filter. Okay, so I've saved that. Lucy wants to see some information for Band A holidays booked. Filter the payments worksheet to show Band A holidays booked. So go back to here. So I want to see all the Band A holidays booked. So I'm going to put a filter in there so that I can do that. So what I need to do now is put a filter, so sort and filter, and then a filter there. So I need to put a filter on this column here. Okay, so now I've got my filter up here. So I'm check that, click up here, and I selected all the Band A holidays. It wouldn't let me because of the screen capture software, wouldn't let me do that, but that's how I've done that. Display only guest name, holiday date, and balance. So I need guest. So I just want guest name. So I don't want this. So anything I don't want I can hide. So I just need guest name, holiday date, and the balance. So all these columns here can be hidden. So again, right click on that and hide. So it should look like that. And that completes task B2 for 2 marks. Task B3, save the spreadsheet as chart. Task B3A, Lucian wants you to create a chart to display the information from the price bands worksheet. Chart must be fit for purpose, have suitable title, suitable X and Y axis labels. Okay, so go and do that now. So go back to the original spreadsheet and we want a chart of all of this here. So to insert, and I want this one here, a column chart, 2D column. Okay, so it's a good start. First off, what I'm going to do is edit the title. The cost of the different price band holidays. So now I need to put the X and Y axis on the chart. add chart element. So I need to add some axis titles. So let's do the primary horizontal there, and we'll add the title here to price band. Now I need to add the title, add chart element. So I need to add the vertical here, cost. So cost in euros. Now I haven't got the euro symbol. If I had that, I'd put that on there, but I'm just going to write euros like that. Just going to spell that out there. Okay, so fit for purpose. Yep, that's good. That's done. Resave charts. And now we'll answer these questions here to finish off task B3. So state what the function equals product A1, A3, A4 does. So what product does is multiply these three cells together. So we can multiply these three cells together, the contents of these three cells together. 2, give one reason why a named range is used in spreadsheets. So it makes it easier to refer to the range of data in the spreadsheet in the formula rather than write specific range. I can just refer to. So we go back to what we're talking about here is this. So I can refer specifically here to holiday price bands with underscores rather than the range. 3, explain one reason why absolute cell referencing is used in a spreadsheet formula. Well, that was what we did back here. So it allowed me to copy the formula down, $A, $2, $B, $6 there. It allows me to copy the formula down so that the cell referencing doesn't change. So it locks onto that table and that doesn't change all the way down when I copy that down using the handle there. So that's the answer to that, and that completes task B3. Task B4. Lucian wants a one-sided A4 leaflet set with landscape orientation to send to future guests to promote the holidays. She wants you to, based on the design in the document, leaflet design. This is leaflet design. This is what she wants. So text to be included is here, and create the leaflet. So this is what it needs to look like. It's kind of logo here on the side, and then text provided in this box. That's the text that we're given in the question, and this table here, and an image of a narrowboat. So I'm going to create this in Publisher, and I've set this to be A4. But you could create this in Word. I'm going to use Publisher as I've got this. So the first thing I'm going to do is insert the logo. So to go to Insert and select Pictures. So I browse to the folder and I'm going to insert the logo here. Just move this up and this goes to here. So, and title there, River/Canal Holidays. So that needs to go in there. So insert, maybe I use word art for this, but keep it simple. So don't go too crazy with the fonts there because the design is fairly simple. It should be a very simple font there like that. So this logo here we need to put on there, so we could create that ourselves quite easily here using the shapes. So it's kind of a rounded shape there. That would be quite easy to create, but what we need to do is make sure we've got the exact colours. And the exact colours are light blue, medium, and then darker blue. And it has, so shape fill, I'm going to choose a light blue, and shape outline, it's got kind of a green outline. So I'm going to copy and paste that here. So it kind of goes like that there. How does that go? And then the other one is underneath. So this is a more medium kind of blue there. So copy and paste that here. And this is your darker blue here. But what I need to do is I need to get that at the background. So I need to be able to send that to back. So click on it and send backwards there. So that's kind of recreated that logo there like that. It's not quite the same blue, but it's close enough. As long as it's kind of blue there, it looks okay. So text in the middle and then a table and then a picture of a narrowboat. So we insert a text box and we're going to put the text from here. Now, this is one kind of thing that you won't be able to do. You'll have to type this, but I'm going to save myself time. Save video length by copying and pasting that in. Formatting slightly off though, so I need to just edit that like that. Okay, I'm pretty pleased with that, that's okay. So I need to format the text, font style Arial, font size 16 and light shading, and center the text. So I need to do all of that now. So first of all we'll change it to size 16, then we'll change it to Arial, centered, and then format shape fill, it's got to be light grey. I'm pretty sure that's it. Light shading, format the text box. Now I might just put a border around that text box just to kind of, yeah, it has hyphenated the text, so I'll just kind of move that out a bit. It's going to be quite difficult not to have that. One thing just to be aware of here that you might lose marks on is to not expand that box. So if you cut off any of the text at the bottom, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to lose some marks with that. So make sure you don't. So at the bottom here, we've got a table, which I need to put on here. Now, I'm kind of running out of space, so I'm going to have to just make things a little bit smaller. So I've lost some kind of the shape there, but I'm just going to play about with that, just tidy that up a bit. This I can move up, and this can be moved up. I'll try to make this a bit smaller. I can't change it too much because I've got that font size of 16. But if I just try and move that there, that's still in the center, still looks like it. But I just want to create myself a bit of space at the bottom for that table. So now I'm going to insert that table. So table is, I've got 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 by 6. I know some of the tables are, some of the rows do have they are merged. So I can deal with that. So UK Holidays goes at the top, and it's got a kind of serif font there, which I need to replicate. So first thing I'll do with this table is just, I want a border around that just so I can see it a bit better. Just going to drag it out a bit, just want to see it a bit better. I'm going to merge these cells here. So I need to merge, so it's in layout here. What I want to do is merge these cells here, because that needs to be merged, and that needs to say UK Holidays. That needs to be bigger. So I'm just going to write UK Holidays first, capital K. Now I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to center it because it is centered, and it needs to be a serif font. So my default for serif fonts, as I've said before, is Times New Roman. Does it specify size? Well, it's quite big, so I need to kind of replicate that. So just to increase that a bit. That looks okay. Now we'll worry about the colors here, because it does specifically have light blue and dark blue background. So I need to replicate that now. And the font, I think that looks like a bold to me, and that's going to be a light blue. I think that's actually a darker blue there. So I'm going to change that. So back to table design, I'm going to change that to a darker blue. It's more like that kind of blue there. That's close enough. That will do. It's a dark blue there. Now I've got the headings here, which I need to do. So I've already written them in there. What I need to do is make that a lighter blue color here. So table design and fill, that needs to be sort of a medium kind of blue there. And this font here, so go to home and change the font color to a light blue like that. I think these are in bold, and that needs to be Times New Roman. So again, my default for a serif font is Times New Roman. Make that a little bigger. And just check if these are centered. They're not centered, so I need to uncenter them there, because these aren't actually centered there like that. Okay, as long as it's approximate, so England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales need to go in these columns here. So that's done there. Now I need to put the canals in there for each country. So there I've got my canals, rivers there. And now I need to just check what kind of font that is. That's maybe slightly bigger. So I'm just going to change that font to make that slightly bigger so it fills out a bit more. It looks a bit more kind of like this does here. And also I note that each of these has to have a bullet. So they're all bulleted like that. What's happened here is I've got a bit of truncation, so just need to move that out like that. That soon fixes that. And this interesting one here, 2023, so that needs to go there. So what I need to do first is I need to merge these cells, so merge cells here. Now I need to change the text direction, and you can see that it immediately goes. Click on text direction, it goes to vertical. It needs to say 2023. So notice it's the other way round there, so I need to do something about that. Now I've had some problems with the alignment of that text because it's got to specifically look, it's got to be aligned like that. So what I ended up doing was creating a text box and typing that in, and now I'm going to go to rotate. I'm going to rotate that specifically like that. So rotate through 90 so that it looks like this. I need to rotate it again. I need to keep rotating it, and it's also got to be centered. So I rotated that left there, and that's looks like that. I don't think that's a special kind of font. I think that's okay there, as long as it's rotated like this. So I rotated that left ways and used a text box to get the text to look like that. And now I've got to insert the image narrowboat 1 and a relevant caption. So there's a lot to put in this, so just kind of playing about with it, really moving things about just to get the kind of, so I've got the space here, but I need to put a caption. These blue lines around the edge represent the print boundary, so I really need to be staying in that. So now I'm going to use a text box. So a narrowboat is suitable caption, because that's what that is, a narrowboat there. Could even add to that, a narrowboat on a canal. Now the text has gone off the edge of the page there, but that's okay. Off the edge of the text box there, but that's okay. I'll fix that now. So this I need to move back. Just remember that was just a text box and I rotated it to get the text like that. I couldn't do that in the table itself. So there's a footer there, Rivers Canals UK 2023. So if I click on Insert and Footer, and I can add the footer details here. So Rivers/Canals UK in the middle and then 2023. So Rivers, tab to get to middle, and then tab to get to the end, 2023. Close master page, that's that done. So I've copied the design there. Let's go back to the question. So we created the leaflets, saved the document as leaflets, so I've saved that there. And that's that finished. So this is my finished leaflet. I just zoom out so we can see it a bit better. That's approximately what it should look like. So make one improvement to leaflet or design, annotate your leaflet to highlight your improvement. So what I would do to improve this, well, it's not great. There's loads of improvements you could make here with this. I think what I'd do, if it were me, is I'd change all the fonts to Arial. So make it look more consistent, have a more consistent font. I think that's what I would do there, rather than have that serif font, or make it all serif font. So state one reason why your change improved the leaflet. It made it more consistent. State one advantage of using a table to present information. The information is clearly laid out and we can see it in rows and columns, and it makes it easier for it to see. 3. State one reason why it's important to create and manage folder structures so you can find your work in future. It's really, really important. So that completes task B4, and that completes the whole of the section B, 50 marks, and the whole of the paper for 100 marks. Just want to say a big thank you for making this far through the video. Thank you for watching. Good luck in your exams, mock exams or exams. Also, the November series is out, so in a couple of months I'll be creating videos on the November series. So there's a November series out as well. Again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.